one of the things I can't quite figure out is, in the days of the internet and instant global communications, why capital is still so geographically central to some place on the geographic map. What can we do to make this capital more virtual, where you've got, we don't have to move the investor from San Francisco or New York here, we just have to move his or her money. What can we do to unlock that part of this restriction?
You need leads here. You need to have a lead investor, of serious nature, who's writing the $100,000 type checks if you're doing the seed round, and maybe more if you're doing the Series A. But I think you need to have that lead investor that they can say, okay, there's a serious commitment locally. They believe in these guys locally as well. And then from that, you can build the momentum to be able to bring people in. That said, I have another idea, which is a reverse roadshow. Basically, I think you should use this space and others if there's available, but certainly this space, to bring in groups that would invest in digital health, a little bit of my area, but certainly all of the different healthcare pieces, to bring in the groups that invest in it, because it's a pretty niche group that's investing in that particular community, and there's a great opportunity to do that here. We have huge companies as well that could be pilot partners, that could be a piece to help show credibility, that again will make it clear to, like an Amazon or whatever, that could make it clear that, look, we're able to get into and have a conversation with these guys and do a pilot with them. That also shows credibility. So if you can open up the doors there, those kinds of companies as well, I think those would be helpful.
I think one of the biggest things that the state can do to help the smaller companies is actually by helping someone else, help the larger companies. I'd like to see some of the bigger boys playing in our sandbox, and they have an exorbitant amount of capital that they can invest into the industry. So by helping attract the larger companies into our area, you will be helping the smaller companies, because they're the folks that are our customers. They're the folks that are also investing in our technology. It's a whole new source of capital outside of grants.
Another thing is the tax. If we compare California to Washington, the R&D tax, it's a huge thing. So it's a lot of the investors, the first thing they say is the taxation system in California is way more supportive than Seattle.
We're working on this R&D tax credit, as you know, in this legislative session, and I'm going to ask you a question about that in a minute. I do hope that we do remind people we have the lowest income tax rate in the universe, which is 0, and you just can't get lower than that. But on the R&D,
but I don't think that the income tax should affect the R&D tax. I would prefer to have more income tax and really support decrease the R&D tax and let pay people pay income tax.
So have I got a deal for you? Okay. We're gonna maintain our 0 income tax rate, okay, and we're gonna have a reasonable R&D tax exemption this year in the legislative body, if we can convince legislators to do that.
If we don't have an R&D tax here in this state as compared to the 5 or so other ones that we're trying to compete against, Boston, San Diego, down in Texas, if we don't have that, then why would they start building their investment vehicles here? And if they're not here, then we're eventually not going to get capital. And if we're going to need capital because we're supposed to grow our businesses, where are we going to go for that? Like he said, we're going to have to go somewhere else.